like a hard rock band?
Alive,
Oh,
everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Fire
Jesus, that
Shrike.
was awkward.
We were a little, yeah, we were a little bit all over the place tonight. Um, Here we are. We're back. We're back, and we're gonna start off here with instead of our normal recap, we're gonna start off with a scene. Um, and we get it's kind of like a dusty rundown, like back end shithole watering hole somewhere on Akaton, and we get the plaque that says Akaton, you know, and something to the effect of like, 3 weeks ago or something, and we kind of see like we kind of get a outside shot of like this bar in like this dusty little town, and then we get like we cut immediately to the inside shot of this bar, and we see a group of like what look like locals and a few other people who look like they're travelers and caravanners, and we get a bit of a closer look at a couple of the people of the bar, like maybe the camera kind of starts to follow in on, and they're having a hushed conversation, and one of them gets up and leaves, and just as a half of a bit of a turn, we catch the glint of metal, and when the camera refocuses, it focuses in from the other side of the bar, confirming what we're probably already suspecting, and it's Wreck. Rec 17, but this is the Rec 17 of the Pirate Queen universe or timeline, dimension, whatever you want to call it. So he's a bit more, a bit more scrappy. There are obviously parts of him that have been replaced or, or patched back together and what have you. He looks a bit battle scarred. And he also looks like he's trying to be very like discreet. He's got a big wide brimmed hat on, wearing sort of like a traveler's outfit with a bit of like a dusty shawl or like, uh, sort of cloak cape sort of thing hanging off of his back. And he's sitting there at this bar, and the bartender, for the most part, occasionally looks over at him and nods, but goes about his business. Uh, and we hear something like the sound of a crackling, but we don't see anything necessarily for a minute. And it's just a focus on Rex's face as he contemplates his next move. And then someone familiar walks up from behind him. James, would you like to give a description?
well, it's familiar from the last time that Cyril went gallivanting across the Timosphere, uh, looking for friends. He's wearing his high-collared, hooded cloak that pretty much obscures most of his visage, as it were. Um, and I'm getting some feedback from somebody. Or is that just me?
I'm not getting anything.
It could be. Who cares?
There's a little bit of a leak there on your end, Jesta.
Is there? Oh, Chris, maybe shut the door a little bit better between the rooms. That
Is
might
that
help.
better? That
Check,
helped.
check, check, check. Yep. That that's what it was. Yeah, the door was cracked.
But anyway, sorry about that. And he approaches in this very conspicuously inconspicuous outfit of his.
Hmm.
And is there like a seat next to Rec that's open?
Yeah, sure.
He sits down at it, and is this like directly at the bar?
Yeah.
And he waves at the bartender with that thing that's kind of like, give us some space.
And the bartender nods and he kind of walks off to the other end of the bar, where he proceeds to yell at the waitress who's just leaning on the counter, not doing anything.
You are a difficult man to come by, no matter where you are.
And he kind of looks over and he's like, you know, sometimes when people are difficult to come by, it means they don't want to be come by. Hmm. Who exactly are you?
A friend.
A friend. Well,
A
that
friend with
remains
information.
information. What kind of information?
A proposition as much as information. I'm aware of things that are happening, not just here, but everywhere and every time. And you have a chance to fix them, if you listen to me.
Everywhere and every time. You realize this is a bit of a, you're a little bit out there already. But go on.
I know that you are dealing with many queens, all vying for their own thrones, are you not?
Yeah, well, it does tend to be the nature of the verse at the moment.
If you want your unannihilated to stay as that, you will listen to what I have to say. A traveler's coming. One of them will be suspiciously familiar to you. Does the name Ashira remind you of anything?
Shira, that's the Queen of Storms. And she was betrayed and killed after the attack on the Adari. Sad business, that.
Indeed. Well, sad as that business might have been, there are others. And this one is coming, and she'll be here eventually. And I want you to take her.
So, let me get this straight. The Queen of Storms, who is now dead, is going to be coming back from somewhere else, and you want me to not just shoot and kill her on sight?
As I said, do you wish for the unannihilated to remain as thus?
We share some common goals, but the unannihilated don't really keep stock in the idea of friendships.
And I understand that. But, and he pushes across a small burner pad that just has one file on it that's a set of coordinates. And he taps
Very
at the counter and says, if you have any faith in anything or anyone, you'll go here. If not, then perhaps I've already wasted plenty of my time.
stranger. Why exactly should I trust you if I don't even know what to call you?
Because I have listened through rock and metal and time, and now I am talking, and you will listen.
Give me a diplomacy or a bluff check, depending on
Def.
whether you feel like you're straight talking or just being obfuscating stuff.
Oh,
Def
he's actually
fucking
sending me to
Corto.
listen to you.
He is the. Oh, okay. Yeah, he goes, and he kind of go. He looks at you, and there's that moment where like the sort of revolving, like the revolving sort of like light behind his visor stops and seems to look at you very like it's hard to read his expressions because I mean he's an SRO. He's effectively a robot. His face doesn't have the same movements, but you'd gather from his body language that there's a bit of suspicion there. And there's a moment where he seems to be sizing you up, and he goes, "I'll think about it." Says, "I ain't saying I'm gonna do anything or not do anything, but most people don't come with crazy stories like this without some kind of reason."
Have you ever heard of the term of a gray cardinal? someone who manipulates things from behind the throne.
Well, I understand the concept.
And there's a very minute tilt of the head because he's been keeping it straightforward. He knows
Mm-hmm.
the spy game enough to know that when you're talking to someone in a spy situation, you make sure you're not looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
And very minutely turns it his way and says, "That's as close to say name as you'll get. If you follow with my plans, everything will be fine. For you, the unannihilated, and millions born and yet unborn."
Yeah, he's he kind of nods and he goes, "The Great Cardinal. I'll have to remember that."
Don't leave me disappointed, Rek. In the other times that I have met you, you've been a stalwart companion. But this universe is surprising.
He's just like, he goes, he goes, "Yeah, well, the idea of other universes isn't exactly a thing that meets with my normal capacity of normal."
Uh, what is the off-quoted thing? It's always spouted by the mouths of the trite. Normalcy is an illusion. The only constant is change. Well, let's make sure that we don't upend this shopping cart of a universe, why don't we?
Yeah, he kind of he says, "All right, well, ye have spoken your piece, I believe." He says, "If you don't mind, I have other business to attend to."
Just remember, he says as he stands up and just starts walking off and says just loud enough to be heard, "I'm watching you."
Yeah, and I think we like cut to black there, and we get the Fire Shrike logo across the top. Um, when we come back in, um,
I'll be watching you. Do 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 do.
when we come back in with Burnward. And Burnward, it's been several hours. You know, it's been several hours. It's been maybe a day or whatever of resting and getting your shit back together after the fight with the protein and whatnot. You guys are kind of been staying on your ship. When you're when you're not actively doing anything with the doctor at the moment, kind of been in a holding pattern. And it's kind of the sleep cycle for a lot of people. And you're kind of patrolling the hallways of the
Yeah,
Fire Strike.
I have my
And
Tashtari violence with me as well.
yeah, yeah, you're walking with violence, and you're kind of like taking your patrol through the halls, and you're coming across. You're coming down the hallway, and you're about to turn like the captain's quarters are down the hallway if you continue to go straight, and you're at an intersection where you can go left or right or straight. And I think as you come there, you stand there. First of all, let's get a description of Burnward here. As he's making his patrol.
Yeah, he's probably recently maintenanced, but not like fully cleaned his armor. So there's no viscera on it, but like there's still like a big scar or like a big slash across the front of it from when he got hit from that claw. Um, he's got kind of just a mean look on his face as he typically does. And Violence is walking beside him, no leash. Anyone who walks close enough gets a growl, a pretty aggressive one, but never gets attacked. He's just kind of walking along, no weapons out or anything. He's in his territory. He's just making the rounds.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So you come to this intersection, and while you're kind of decided, maybe thinking about which direction you're going to go next, you hear a loud booming sound, and as you turn to face down the as you kind of like look up, you look up just in time to see the door to the captain's room blow clean off its hinges and across the hallway and leave a dent in the hallway on the other side.
Yep, that's activating his power shield and flicking out his actual shield and sword. And he's gonna jet dash over there.
Zai.
Um,
um
Zai is backed into a corner, and he is in what's left of his jammas,
Yeah.
and he is in full like Solaran fucking photonic phase. Like he just unleashed a whole lot of fire and burned up everything in his room. And right now he is talking to people that aren't there, names that you haven't heard.
Okay.
And right about that time, fucking he calls his gun and fires a blast directly to your left, like there's nothing there, causing another big ass hole.
Yeah, Burnward is like, whoa, Zai, hold up. What in the fuck is going on?
And he turns and does that hit?
That hits.
Okay. Sorry about that.
PvP. PvP.
Yeah, no,
we've had a lot of it lately.
so yeah,
This
let's
isn't that
see.
kind of PvP, I promise. You
Uh
and I would have went to the room and actually just had a fight.
oh yeah, no, Burnward would kill Zai. I have no
Ooh. We'll talk about that
no
later.
doubts. Um no, Burnward takes the hit and then like looks at it, and you see his fist tighten around the sword, and then he looks back up and goes, friendly.
Say that one more time, you got glitchy on me.
Yeah, he kind of like grips his sword a little extra tight, looks at the fucking giant icicle that's sticking out of his armor, and then looks at you and just goes, friendly.
You're gonna need to knock some sense into me, sir.
Yeah, Burnward's gonna fucking walk in there. And are you gonna continue to attack him?
I'm sleepwalking,
Okay. Yeah,
so
Burnward
you
is
need to
going to
wake me
like,
up, and
yeah,
that's gonna take some damage.
Burnward's gonna shake you for a second, Zai.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, what in the fuck are, like, he's like, Zai, like, just as he's like shaking you.
I finally come out of it,
Yeah.
and I am completely like confused. I immediately like power down and start that cold sort of sweat. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on here? What happened to my room? Why are you hurt? Report.
And then Burnward just kind of looks at you and he goes, yeah, you did this. All of this. I don't know why, but yeah, he fucking flicks his sword and his shield back into null space discs, pops him in his armor. And he's like, you doing okay, Cap?
You have a
Um,
badge in here, champ?
Rooting around through what's left of my room until I find a flask and chug it all.
Yeah.
And I go, I was somewhere else. Everyone was dying around me. I had no clue that I was here and that you were you. And for that, I'm sorry.
Burnward just kind of nods really knowingly and says, "All right, Captain." Kind of, maybe it's at this point that like violence rounds the corner and starts growling, and Burnward's like, "Down," kind of sits and whimpers. He's like, "Yeah, need to talk about it?"
I don't know if you know this about me, but this is not what I was going to do when I left home with Nahi. My plan was to stay drunk until my liver failed and go back to the computer. And now, all of this is on me. I have hundreds of people that I have to worry about, and half of them are God only knows where. That dick. That's about the stone skinny of it.
Kind of nods.
Elgath
Oh, go ahead.
shows up.
Well, you would be, and Burnward, as a security thing, you would be aware of the tapes that Zai received of somebody murdering other Zais,
Oh,
because
of course. Yeah.
Qualu would have had that in the security files.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
It would have been like high level shit that only whoever was in charge of security or intelligence would know.
Yeah, yeah. Um yeah, Burnward is going to pull he's gonna pull his bottle of Vengeance Rye that he keeps in a flask under his armor out. He's gonna take a drink and hand it to Zai. And Chris, you may be muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There it is.
Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah. So there's a lot on my mind.
Kind of nods and goes, "Well, it's not like we get to choose what we do. Kind of do. Not really, though."
Mm. Well, and I do put myself in this position. I could have just stayed home and been a priest.
Kind
I
of,
laughed.
yeah, you get a slight chuckle out of Burnward, and he goes, Zai, the great pirate Scourge, a priest. Yeah.
Hey, it happens.
That's an aspiration. I'm gonna go be
Yeah.
a priest or a pirate captain.
Yeah, he says, something tells me you're not the type to get thee to a nunnery. I don't think you were ever going to have that one. It's all destiny, you know?
Yeah. Well, mistakes have consequences, and you just have to roll with them.
Damn
anyway,
straight.
What the hell? What time is it?
It's about 3 standard.
All right. Well, there's no going back to sleep. Send a cleanup crew. Go get patched up yourself. I apologize again. I was not myself, and I'm gonna see if I can put this door back on.
Yeah, he nudges you to take one more drink of the Vengeance Rye and goes, think nothing of it, Cap.
All right, and I take one more.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
takes it, and he takes it, takes a drink afterwards, screws the top on, and goes, yeah, if you're ever having a moment like that again, come find and shoot me. I'm generally the easiest one to shrug it off. Kind of smirks at him and starts walking out and radios in what the captain wants him to radio.
And that's what happens. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jester.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. So maybe that's kind of where we leave off, is with you guys, sharing the drink and conversation. And then I want to cut over real quick to. I want to cut over to Vesa. So yeah. So you you are on Akaton. and you're kind of waiting to see what Rek is going to do with you, Resistance Leader Rek. Um,
Mhm.
and how this is going to play out. And then there's like, and you're kind of contemplating this and what have you. And there's and see, since I actually have the paper out now, there's a do-do-do-do. There's a human at your door. In fact, he's a rather recognizable looking human, at least from whatever files you might have seen in the on the Fire Shrike. This guy was in your universe. He was the second in command for Cervantic Cordrum, the captain, the Hell Knight captain that wants Ashira dead. Apparently, he
Okay.
also killed. Apparently, he also killed another member of the Fire Strike crew in a dogfight battle in the universe
Okay.
you come from. His name is Jake Dawson.
Oh, okay.
He is
Um,
not awesome, or at least he's not in our universe.
he kind of gets to the. He kind of comes to the. He's like, Zai, is it?
Are you
You're.
up to date on your car insurance?
It's time for. Says, let's. The boss would like to have a word with you.
Okay.
It was like, kind of, and it's like, if you'll follow me. And he's kind
Uh-huh.
of, yeah, it, he's a, about an average height, a little bit stronger build human with, blonde hair, relatively military cut. Although it doesn't look like it looks like it's on the verge of needing cut again. Um, but he does have like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing going on across his face. Clearly, he has been out here for a little while, but he kind of leads you down some of the like hallways and stuff. Is basically caverns that have been repurposed and structured out. A little bit of extra support here added here and there, and what have you. The odd power lines running from one area to another. Um, and
Mhm.
you manage to make it to a larger cavern that has a very large, a lot of computer equipment in here. This is obviously an operations, sort of area. There's a rather large view screen. There's a table that, you can identify hollow projectors on it. There's several consoles here and there. Um, Standing in the middle of it is another face that you recognize from the files. This one carries something of a middle of the road assessment from the Fire Shrike files. A Dr. Ernebron Tallet. He's a tall Verthani man, um, and he's wearing um, whereas most of the images you've seen, he's always wearing like a very nice suit and and or very nice armor and what have you. This
Mhm.
one he looks more ragtag.
Mhm.
He's got armor, but it's sort of it's clearly sort of the best armor in the room, but it's still pretty grungy and obviously parts of it were repurposed from something else somewhere. um, and he's kind of standing there talking to Rek when you guys walk in, and Rek kind of looks at you, and Kolnak is there along with another dwarf that you don't recognize, a woman. Um, and he's like, Rek is like, well then, Zai, I figure you're looking for a favor from us, so let's try this out and see if we can work together.
Love
There
it.
is we got an operation that we're about to put into motion. Now, we could run this operation on our own, be a little bit tight, numbers and shorthanded slightly, but we could do it. But I think it'd be a perfect opportunity to see just how trustworthy you are. I'd like you and your team to go in, mixed group with my team, and you'll be raiding a drug facility. Belongs to the Queen of Venom. She's been trying to put her talons down here for a while. Ever since the Queen of Chaos went down. The original. The And if she's got her way with these drugs she's peddling out, if it follows suit with how she's taking control elsewhere, it won't be long before we got a zombified populace, can't do nothing, ain't got no will to do nothing, and just gonna be a lost cause. Because it ain't gonna be nothing but us fighting for freedom of people who can't even remember what it's like. He's like,
Okay.
so the operation is simple. We go in, we blow up this facility, we gather any intel that we might be able to purloin from this operation, and we come back. If it's successful and you and your people prove to be trustworthy, maybe we'll talk business.
Oh, that's a great idea. I Oh, okay. I
So
I just I have a better one. I have a better one. What if Heart, you guys. What if someone just pretended to be her, checking up on her shit with a group of people that are her trusty advisors, compatriots, uh,
we've
all of
already
that.
tried. We've already tried that. Their security protocols are tight. They change access codes and other tells quite regularly. By the
Do they have
time we
biometric access? Isn't there like an ultimate
they do,
biometric access lock?
that's the thing. The way they got security structured, there ain't no one thing that's gonna get you past all the rest of them. We've been trying for months to crack it. By the time we get a password that's gonna be usable, and believe me, that's only happened once, and it was no good by the time we got there. In addition to that, when we've been able to manage to fool guards into thinking we were who we said we were, the security protocols are so tight that they even ask people they completely and totally believe to be the people we purport to be the same security questions with the same access and passwords, and even the biometrics are higher in than anything I've seen. You want to talk
Does the
about
Queen of
paranoid?
Right. Does the Queen of Venom need a passcode though? Does she? I mean, she's
Yeah, apparently so. We got a we got one of
y-
them Astrozoans we sent in one time. Perfect replica of her. Had studied hours and hours of tape. Had it all down to a pat. And well, one little slip up, and we no longer had an Astrozoan agent in the field.
I don't think it's a perfect replica.
That's a hard asset to lose, though.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's,
guess
uh,
I
Mr. Big
mean,
Brain made some small brain plays.
he's
you
like,
True.
you do your best, but I mean, what if you could get an absolutely perfect down to the DNA replica of the Queen of Venom?
look, if you could do that, I, I mean, I would be sure impressed, but but I don't know that it's going to necessarily beat the protocols. Like I say, they constantly challenge you with knowledge that you're not going to have going in, and we can't get very easily.
What kind of knowledge? Like what, for example, do they ask you?
Changes. Sometimes it's something that seems like a personal question. Sometimes it's something that only the people involved would know necessarily. Sometimes it's a personal related thing, or seems to be anyway. Sometimes it's anecdotes that only a very select few would have even been there for or heard.
Okay.
Hell, there's even a rumor that they one time used the question of what really happened to the Queen of Chaos, and that was to pass. And ain't nobody know that for sure except those that was there.
Right. Right. Okay. Great idea. How many casualties do you expect from this on our side?
Well, the fewer you can get away with, the better. I mean, you're free to approach this however you want. If you think you can get in on a impersonation, he shrugs. He goes, my best spies haven't been able to crack the code. He says, but but just for safety's sake, why don't we at least run over and take a look at the plan that we had formulated? And by
Fine.
way of introduction here, this here is Cole. He says, this is Jake Dawson. He will be joining you on this escapade.
Right.
Then
Hi.
there's Kolnak. Points over to Kolnak of this dimension. He goes,
We've met.
"Is Dovry Forge Core, Kolnak's sister?" He says, and
Hi.
he says, "This here is Dr. Ernebron Tallet, and he's got all of the technical data we have been able to collect through
Right. Right.
various means. Well, essentially, it's going to be a lot of it's going to be a list of things that we've tried that did not work. Of course, that's how
Okay.
you gather intelligence sometimes, is you try things until you find the thing that works.
Right.
Is
How many people? How many of my people do you need?
says, I'm thinking that I send these. I'm thinking I send these four, maybe a couple of others. You and your team you came in with.
Okay. That's fine.
Says Says Dr. Tallet, would you like to break down the tactical analysis of this station? And Dr. Tallet kind of goes, yes, well, certainly I can do that for you. He goes, good morning, everyone. He says, that you whatever your strategy is, you may want to pay attention here because it could save your life. This is the way that we are this is the information that we have found out. And he brings up like a hollow image on the table, and it's got like a holographic image of what looks like a compound. And he's like, they have guards that start that here and here are the patrol paths for guards. Usually between these hours they have one or two on this path, 3 or 4 over here. They're all within earshot. Easy alarms, all carry communicators. And he's pointing out like various safety measures. He knows that these walls over here have traps all up and down them. Is kind of going through it. He's like, from what it looks like, a proper military force or a proper steward strike force from from your own timeline could have been able to take this down.
Mhm.
But from what you're witnessing, these people are operating much like terrorist cells. They don't have like the large capacity, and they have mixed talent and what have you. Um, Plus,
Okay.
sometimes, as you have been witness to, sometimes it just takes the right combination of people,
Right.
not necessarily the right combination of skills, but the right combination of people.
Right.
Um,
I feel like I need to go to my ship and get some supplies to prepare for this. Um, you're free to come with me if you'd like. Colnut can come if you'd like. Uh, but I feel like we need to stock up a little bit better because we didn't come prepared for a fight. We came prepared for a conversation. So don't feel like we're trying to skip out on this. We're not. I'm just not going to walk into something completely unprepared.
he goes, "What exactly do you need?"
Well, there's a couple of weapons on board. I want to make sure I've got the right people with me to do the job. I need to know exactly what our parts to play are so that I have the right people here with me to do those parts.
You
Also,
forgot to
I
say
have. Huh? What did I forget to say?
you have a small army.
Oh, and I have a small army. So,
Well, that's reassuring.
yeah,
That really makes me want to let you go back to your small army and hope that you don't tell anybody where we're at.
you can come with me. I don't care. I need something from you. And because I need something from you, and because we are trying to form a friendship here, some sort of relationship, if you will, I'm not just going to skip out on you because that's just not how things work. At this point, I'd like to roll that. What
Yep.
happened? What was it? And then I got to add this.
I was about to ask you for that roll anyway.
That's not even the right one.
Amen.
So 40, I'm not trying to fuck you. I got shit to do too. We both have similar goals. And honestly, it's not worth it to fight here. I have things I need to do. This isn't even my timeline. Like, you guys can do what you need, and we'll do whatever we need to
He
do.
goes,
But
he,
goddamn,
he looks at you, he goes, "We'll have you escorted back out of our territory
okay,
without sight, of course. You can't know where the place is.
fine,
You'll give you the coordinates and the time to meet us, and we'll see if you're as trustworthy as you seem."
perfect. Who are you sending with me? Can Colnett come with me?
Hint, she's not.
He's like, it's like, um, he says, "I don't feel very inclined to send any of my people into the midst of a small army."
Like I said, if
Coward.
you're a fucking coward, I didn't say that, but
Hey,
it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, if we wanted to fight, we would have come here looking for a fight. I'm not looking for a fight with you. I got shit to do,
A
and so do
Kolnak.
you, so let's get it done.
she's like,
Leave
"You have the
Oshmi there and
coordinates."
take Kolnak.
He's got, he's like, he's like, "You got the time and you got the coordinates. We'll see. We'll see if you show. No more than 6.
All right.
Don't bring more than 6 people."
Okay. There's one other thing, please.
He goes,
Um,
"One other thing."
no, to you, not to them. I'm
Oh,
just trying to think of um. Ooh, no, there's no other things right now. Oh,
okay.
wait, there is one thing. Have you seen a goat? I'm in
A
search of a
goat.
goat. Yeah, he's special. He's a special goat. It's a side thing. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm more inclined to pick up. Uh, I'm more inclined to find it here. Um, sorry, the unannihilated. But if you happen to see a goat, it's got the heart of a god. Kind of fantastic. I think he's telepathic. Best thing on the planet. Best thing in the universe. He's pretty cool.
Every
He
word
just kind
coming
of
out of
like,
your mouth is whiplash for Colton. I can just feel
right?
it.
Fucking- yeah, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like, it's
Yeah,
crazy. Well, I mean, back
yeah,
in my
he's like,
timeline, we've got a goat.
no.
So I just wanted to know if there was a goat here that was very similar to that goat. But I think that we rebuilt him and added all that stuff. I think. Can't quite remember. Anyway, do you know what a goat is?
He just looks at you. He's just like a goat.
Yeah,
You're
like
Ask
an
him about
looking
naughty
for a
news.
goat,
yes, a specific goat.
a specific goat.
It's just, we're gonna go. Never mind. It's fine.
Wow.
We're just gonna, I'm just
God.
gonna note these times and locations. Oh,
There's-
I do have some questions before I go.
I can
do-
my anxiety can handle
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
You're
I'll be
great.
done.
it.
Um, what do you need my team to be like stealthy? Do you need them to just like blow shit up? Do you need them to just shoot at people? Like, what's the general premise here? What do you guys need from
Here's-
me?
Who
Here's-
did we lose?
I'll leave that up to I'll leave that up to my team leader, and he'll communicate with you once you're on site as to what the plan is going to be.
No, that's not
lost
going to help me
Chris.
when I'm trying to pick up my people. That doesn't work when I'm trying to pick up my people. I need to pick up the people that know what they're doing. So for you to be like, "Oh, I'll tell you when you get here," that I might as well just be here. Like, come on.
he's like, well, he says, he says, well, the idea is to take the place down. So whoever can do that in an efficient way.
Okay.
He's like, I imagine you'll want somebody who has some experience with explosives, perhaps.
Okay.
You,
Do you know a guy named Slef?
Oh fuck.
he goes, no, I've never heard of a slef.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Everybody is
Yes,
asking
yes.
me questions about people I ain't never met, and I'm beginning to be a little bit perturbed by the fact that people. Why is everybody asking me questions about people I don't know?
Mostly because we're from a different timeline and you're a part of my team. But it's cool. Actually, you're not a part of my team. You're a part of another captain's team, but we're all working together because we're like a coalition of freedom fighters. I don't know.
It's like,
Yeah, freedom fighters. Let's go for that
Mahalo
one.
nice.
One man's freedom fighter.
Freedom fighters.
Pirates.
Oh.
We are pirates.
We're pirates.
I mean, are we? When's
When's
the last time we took over another ship? Or raided
been a
it?
minute.
It has been.
Season 2.
Well,
It's been too damn long, if you ask me.
We haven't gotten, Captain, we haven't gotten down to some good, honest pirating in a while.
I mean,
Like,
we're fucking
We
ships
haven't
about
even
to go down
technically
here.
stolen anything in like at least a season and a half.
I've stolen stuff, I think. No, wait, I just have really good sleight of hand and
we
don't
should
use it.
probably
That's right.
we should probably be calling ourselves what we really are at this point, politicians. The name is just as
politics.
dirty, and in some cases more
Yeah.
so.
It's true.
Rather be in a
Okay.
room with pirates than a room with politicians. At least I know one of them wants my money.
I did.
And oh, one more thing. Well, maybe not one more thing. Maybe one of many more things. I don't know
Oh
yet.
my god.
You need somebody to dress up as fucking that pirate, that queen woman, the Venom woman. Do you need
He-
someone to be that person?
He just shrugs. He goes, I don't give that plan much of a success, but if you and the team lead think you can pull it off, well, then try.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, goodbye. I'm ready for you to blindfold me and take me to my new location.
he's like, all right. guards, and we kind of cut off from there. And question mark, do we have a? No, we do not have a gunner. No, we do have gunner. Gunner, there you are.
Yeah, we do.
I was
He's
looking at the
awesome.
wrong. There we are. I was looking at the wrong.
He's been
screen
here
now.
pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I know he said he was going to be late, so I was looking for him to show up, and I had other things I wanted to start with. But I want to cut
Captain Twinkle
over
has been
to
here.
the Tempest. Tempest, you're in Drift, and Solnus is kind of been on your ship for a couple of days, and he's at this point like maybe he's requested or maybe he's kind of like not so much requested an audience, but asked to meet with you or whatever. It's like I did things that he divulge a little bit of information before you guys hit Ned Sadar.
Yeah, I'd meet with him.
Yeah.
Probably just have him come to my office / quarters.
Okay. All right. And he's like, he goes, Captain. He goes, before we hit Ned Sadara, I figured you might want to know a few names. We don't know many. Getting in and out of Ned Sadara is challenging even for us. We're hoping the diplomatic weight that you are able to swing will be able to get us through. I will be taking on a completely different identity for obvious reasons. You're going to want to know that the four most important houses in Nech Sadara, as far as we can determine, are House, as I've stated before, Mefel Ken, of course, House Zemlathi. There is House Urtel Kezik, Kovel Viren, and House Tekken Ret. The most major important houses. Mefel Kin tends to be the leader of the Council of Matron Mothers. The not officially the leader, but as the most powerful house, they tend to hold the most sway. Houses, they have a long history, and they've put a number of rival houses to rest for good, if our understanding is correct. House Zimlathi has often been a hand in helping other houses put down their rivals, and that has gained them power within the structure. House Urtel Kezik, Kovel Viren, and Tekken Ret vary to degrees on combinations of economic and military successes, and technomancy in some cases. This is I'm guessing once we hit Nech Sadara, we'll be immediately challenged by the security forces, and they will likely want to know who we are and why we're there. This is the point where it's going to be make or break, and we'll be gambling on, well, quite frankly, I'm gambling on you and your crew. He says, this would be a bit more difficult without you, but you'll probably need to convince them that you need to. It says you were looking for the code. I don't know if you want to openly tell them that, or if you want to simply tell them if you want to
I
obfuscate and
just
talk around it.
lost
But
a little bit. I would need to tell them blank. I missed all of that. Sorry.
sorry, he says you would need to tell them something about why you're there.
Mm.
I don't know if I'd necessarily tell them exactly what you're after. After all, the intrigue within Dro communities is somewhat legendary. This is the especially from what I've understood here, I don't know if you want to tell them that you're on research, generally obfuscate, tell them you're on a diplomatic mission. Not entirely certain. He says that's more on the that's more on the wings and breadth of your skill.
Well, we could consider this an envoy to reach out and establish ties. That'll be the first layer. Second layer that we're going to hide is the idea that we are here to establish, well, not necessarily some sort of illicit trade, but definitely trying to make our way into a market here with goods that, may or may not be coming from Patella. That's not actually happening, of course, but it's something, we're going to let them think, and we will pretend we are doing. Third, probably under that, we're going to lay, let's see. Well, we could always pretend that we're trying to get in good with one of the houses. We're here for a general diplomatic mission, but definitely make it look like we're leaning towards one over the other. Honestly, the more different directions we look like we're going, the more that we're going to have, the more trouble we're going to give them figuring out what we're actually doing.
Do you want to Johnny Be Good, the Four Houses? Because I think that's a great idea.
I don't actually know that reference. Please explain.
Okay, the short version is they all the cops want the football player, and so they basically show up, take him to parties, and try to bribe him. And he does it all, and then ends up going with the college he was going to go with in the first place.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great.
All right.
We're definitely
going to
Johnny
fun,
Be Good.
We make a little money, and everybody's pissed off at us in the end.
Do we really want any of these people as our friends?
I, as Captain Zai, I'm going to say no.
Neither do I, honestly. I know they're powerful enemies to make, but worst comes to worst, we leave them,
So, let's restate that. We only need one of them to be our friend, so the other three are pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
So choose the best one after we deal with them all.
Yeah, the one that's not named Mephelkin, because that would be problematic for our ties with Marixa.
Yes. Very wise, Captain.
Fair, Basically, we'll just see what state everybody's in.
Yeah, I think he'll probably put in, and he's like, additionally, our information and our intelligence has told us that there are other groups that are relatively important. There is the Court de Lil Kotra. They are odd and unique. They specialize in drugs, fungal-based drugs and poisons. They're the poison that I had your Dr. Oliver Byrne analyze most likely came from them, which means that they were the suppliers for whoever used the toxin. My bets would be that it could have been any of the houses, but Zemlathi has gained a reputation for covert operations.
Question
But we can't
for you.
rule out there's also the Onyx Tongue, a cabal with unknown goals and organization.
Well, sounds like people who know people.
Oh, and there's one other oddity. A trading company, the Crystal Reliquary.
I like both of the ones he just mentioned, by the way, just by name alone. Let's try Crystal first.
And
at least that would be my opinion, but I'm not there.
So, trading company. Like the tea leaf is a trading company?
Let's just say that they are competitive in certain markets. We kind of corner others.
Sounds like they may have some information. Well,
Worth a look.
I think I will have. I think trying to place as many trails as possible is a good idea. In that case, I will have Dr. Byrne go talk to Cortilocotra. At the very least, I know he's interested in synthesizing some of that poison. If he can't buy it outright himself, well, who knows? Just have him be generally somewhat suspicious, asking around for certain things. I think we will place a genuine interest in Onyx Tongue and Crystal Reliquary. We'll start with the Reliquary.
An
Tongue,
onyx
I imagine, is
tongue-
going to be hard to get a hold of.
Quite. He says there's a either way we're going to have to put the ears to the ground pretty hard. Quart the little Cutra. My understanding is that the houses deal with them on an as needed basis, but they're officially sanctioned or illegal or something. I'm not entirely certain. The rumors are always a little off, and when it comes to Dro politics, one can never be too certain that your information is 100% current.
That is fair. I can guarantee one thing, though. Never bring a drow to a bear fight.
He goes, and he kind of smiles at that. He goes, that would be a fun thing to see. Not
Very
to be too
much so.
terribly morbid.
Not at all, especially a bear immune to most poisons.
Well, what? No, I'm not. Where did you get that thing from? That is
Not
not
yet.
correct.
Not
Do not
yet.
attempt to poison me.
not immune to most poisons yet.
Excellent, we have learned.
There is
That's
never
fucking
a-
hilarious.
This is never going to be a thing. Please do not start passing this rumor around.
This
Oh,
is a
I'm
good
going
rumor.
to pass this
Fucking
rumor
I
death
around.
approve this
Afterwards.
rumor.
I'm going to pass this rumor around. It's going to be
Oh
great.
my god. You're gonna get him killed.
No, he's just going to have to start working on a universal antivenom.
Oh god.
You're a terrible captain. I'm going over to base this shit.
You want? All right, yeah. When you figure out how to cross
Fine.
dimensions, go right ahead. Be my guest.
I mean, we have the guy that can use the sifter. He can send me over there, right?
Please
Right,
start
Xander?
looking for that.
Or he could just bring us back.
Yes,
Ugh.
the sister could bring you over there.
Fuck this universe.
But-
My
no,
captain
no, no, no.
kill me.
But
So much
would
better
Byrne
over
be
there, just bring
interested
us
in
back.
buying potions or at least getting samples and then copying them because
I love how you were just like, let him go ask questions and become a target and be very suspicious. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
a
you think-
doctor, not a warrior.
you think? Hey,
Yeah,
I'm not.
but
One, I'm not gonna
Oliver's
send you
vulnerable to
alone. You're gonna
water.
look. You're gonna look important. We're gonna send guards with you to make you look important.
I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
Second, we're
It's
going
him
to be
because
doing super
She looks
suspicious
badass riding a
things
bear into
like
battle.
all over the ship because we can.
Oh dear. I'm in danger.
What at this point? Look, basically at this point, we are no longer a scientific research ship. We're basically if the CIA got a hold of a spaceship and said, "We're gonna make this our mobile base of operations."
I love that analogy.
We're a scientific research vessel, and nothing you say can prove us any different. But we're
Just so
also
you know,
spying on
you
you.
just
Definitely
officially
spying
became
on you.
captain.
What's that?
And that was your first official moment. That was a true captain moment. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do this instead because this is easier than pretending that we're just a science vessel.
Oh, absolutely. No, this is... Yeah, we are a scientific research vessel, but, you know...
Let's see.
But
At
we're
level
busy
13,
doing this.
I'll
Yeah.
get a field of study,
No.
and then I can do
It's great, sir.
immunology.
It was awesome.
So,
So, that being the
Gee.
case, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, so you get the kind of the alert that like you're about to come out of drift. Like Rulia like sends like buzz you personally like, "Hey Captain Fuzzy, we're about to come out of drift. figure you might want to be on the deck for this.
Why not? Better make sure you don't scratch us up on the landing, too.
She laughs and she goes, "Don't tempt me."
Hey, entrance, exit, I don't care. Just as long as it's a new scar for every port.
Oh my god.
She's
We rule the
like,
Tempest with paint lines.
yeah, I think she's just like, I think she chuckles and she's like, "So are you coming to the bridge, or do I need to, or do I just need to start sending data to you, or
Be
do I
there in
just
2
patch
seconds.
these?" It's like,
Be there in 30 seconds. And turns and... Would you like to join me at the bridge, or do you have preparations to make? I'm assuming you have preparations.
I believe I should probably get in costume, so to speak.
Fair enough. Pick a name, send it to me.
Alright.
And yeah, gonna go to the bridge. I think this is the
Yeah.
first time he's ever been around to actually see this thing land.
Yeah. You kind of come out. You come out of the drift and basically see you see the whole thing, the like the rift open in front of you, and then as you exit out into real space, you can see the real space or whatever, and you see that immediately that you are in a system. um and this is where you get to use some of that this is where you get to use some of that new fancy new equipment and some of the new like stuff you can do. So
Sweet.
coming into the system, you've got a little bit of time to try to get your bearings here. You have the ability to try to scan this system and see what you can learn about it.
Sounds good to me. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find that thing. System-wide sensors. All right.
I need to
Okay,
get to
sensors
there.
provide benefits to the science officer. Science officer is currently... Oh, it's right here.
So
Xander.
system exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sensor provides benefits. All right. The DC for the activity is 15, regardless of the sensors used, and on a success, science officer can pinpoint 1d3 plus 1 gravity wells. So, Xander.
Yeah, this is a downtime activity, so this is basically you're spending the day doing this and see if you can find. So you'll give me a computer's check, and you can use the computer's bonus that the ship provides.
Okay. You get a plus. Let's see. It is +2 for you, Xander. All right.
So that'd be 28.
Yeah, so that's passing the DC. Let's see. Scan DC.
Yeah, 1d3 plus 1.
1d3 plus 1d3 plus 1?
Yep.
Or 1d3 on a success, you're able 1d3 gravity wells. Okay. So let's see how many gravity wells you discover. Oh, come on. You discover 3 gravity wells in this system.
Oh, I really thought it was gonna be a 5.
I thought, wait, is it 1d3 plus anything?
It's 1d3 plus 1 on mine. I don't know if it says something different in the book.
It's on the book. It says on a success 1d3 gravity wells.
Okay. Yep.
And
The
able
book
to
is right.
perform. Now you're able to perform celestial analysis downtime activities on those locations. So you give yourself sensor drones too, right? Or just the system-wide sensors?
Just the system-wide sensors.
Okay. All right. So you can choose one of these gravity wells and try to go study it and find out what is actually there.
Okay. Well, that being the case, one is as much, we know about as much of one as the other, as any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So, Xander, your pick.
So,
You pick number 2, huh? Door number 2.
Right. So what you're going to need to do here is going to be another computer's check, and this is another day. Let's see. Got it. It's the right page here. So, celestial analysis, starships, gravity well data, determine the nature of the celestial bodies. Starship, you can spend the day analyzing pinpointed gravity wells to identify what they are. The number of gravity wells you can analyze in one day depends upon the number of nodes the Starship computer has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you can do more than one for the day. How many nodes?
4.
Yeah, so you could try to analyze all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And something to note, Science Officer, because of surveying sensors, when scanning such targets, the Science Officer doubles the bonus to computer checks granted by the Starship's sensors. So it's a +4 instead of a +2.
And this one's going to be a DC 30 computers or physical science check for each object you attempt to identify. So.
And remember, Scott, you have a reroll because it's a new day. If you need it.
So go
Okay,
ahead.
so +4. Is that what we're finally saying?
Yep. And this can be a computer or a physical science check, whichever one is better for you.
Yeah, we're not doing physical science. It's only 5.
Damn it, I'm a doctor, Jim.
Okay.
So with
31.
31. So the first one you get a read on. So let's see what you get on the second one.
It's a 28.
That's not good enough, so you can't figure out anything about the second object.
And then worse. 24.
So really the only one that you managed to get is you managed to get one of the nearest planets. You managed to find out. Let's see.
Scott, you can reroll 1 skill check because you're a scholar.
You could.
That is
the thing you could do.
so low.
That's a daily thing. So tomorrow, when you do this again, you'll have a reroll for that too.
Okay, so let's re-roll number 2, I guess.
Okay.
Well,
there you go. 37.
Well, number 2 appears to be number 2 appears to be an asteroid belt. Number 1 is one of the closer planets. It's a let's see. You can determine whether gravity well, gas giant, terrestrial world, large asteroid, irregular world. All right, so it's a terrestrial world, and it's a frozen world, from what it looks like. Well, at least that would be what you guess, because it seems to be the farthest from this system star. If you guys fly to this planet, you can do a further analysis of the planet itself.
Fuck, why not? Well, I was gonna say we should.
Well,
go say.
I don't know.
Shouldn't take.
Well, we know 2 of them. I'm not too sure about the third one. Couldn't get a complete read on that one. So Either the planet or the asteroid belt. I
How
don't know
much
what
out
good the
of
belt would
how
do.
much out of the way is that taking us, Rulia?
It's like, well, since we just entered the system, the planet is going to be closer than the asteroid belt, but not by a whole lot. The asteroid belt's a little bit closer. It's between the planet we're closest to and the next closest, so they're both going to have some variation on travel.
Hmm. Well, Mr. Well, science officer, your call.
I don't know. Frozen Planet sounds like fun. Let's go closer in on that one.
All right, planet it is.
All right.
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic planet.
So
Yes.
you guys managed to fly over there. Give me a let's see, I need to roll how long it takes for you to get from where you're at too, because it still takes a couple of days to get there. It's gonna take you 3 days to get there. But get there you do, and you find yourself orbiting the planet. Would you like to do a world analysis here? And by the way, Oliver, you can help with these rolls if you so choose.
Oh, yeah, I've got a 22 to computer, so I can easily help him with these.
I'm gonna say I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, I have
Yeah.
a plus 22. I should help. Wasn't sure though.
You can. I always like to get the help roll out of the way first, though. So
Yeah. So I roll computers.
yeah, or physical science, whichever is better for you.
Oh, physical science for sure. That's a plus 25. That's only
There
a
we
9.
go.
Nice. All right, and give me Xander. Give me your primary roll here, and you get the additional bonus from Oliver Byrne as well, as Oliver.
So is that a total plus 6 now?
Yes.
Which is 34.
All right. So let's see. Choose one or more. So you can choose. Let's see. Number of elements it can analyze per day per starship depends on the number of nodes of the starship's computer. You had 4 nodes, right? So, hold on a second.
Gesundheit.
I think we had 3 nodes, didn't we? Oh wait, no, the ship had nodes, right?
Ship is a tetranode, so.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking gravity whales.
Oh yeah.
We have 4 nodes.
Okay. Now it is allergy season. Every season is allergy season, but summer, spring, and fall are the worst. Winter is just mildly allergies. It's like, All right, so you can choose any 4 of these types of things to analyze. The world sapient species, threat species, level of technology, level of magic, level of religion, level of accord, which is sort of like how much the people sort of stick together to us, to feeling of community or whatever, in whatever way, general alignment, large settlements, or a single planetary anomaly.
What do you guys think?
Could you repeat the options? I'll write them down.
Your options are sapient species, threat species, level of technology, level of magic, level of religion, level of accord, which is sort of their sense of community or patriotism, if you will, general alignment, large settlements, or a single planetary anomaly.
How many do we get to choose?
One for each node.
4.
So we're choosing what we want to discover, or what's actually going to be there.
You're choosing what
Discover
you want
from
to
the
try to
information that we
discover.
found.
Oh
Yeah,
dang!
what
Try
kind
to
of info-
discover. I thought we were forming an actual planet, like meta-wise. Like that's so cool.
Nope.
Let's. All right, each of us pick one. Captain will pick two. Oliver?
Fuck. You put me on the spot. I don't do on the spot.
Captain, I choose threat species.
I didn't remember asking you, but okay.
I was just
I
trying to
would
help.
do.
I'm
Oliver
just
would-
giving
I
you
guess-
crap. You can operate
Yeah,
that
Oliver would
computer.
Oliver would
Yes,
go
sir.
for sapient species.
Okay, threat
So
species,
sapient
sapient
species,
species.
All right, what else?
Xander?
Tech level.
You want to
Tech
discover
level?
the tech level? Okay.
That's my boy right there.
And the last one, we should probably do general alignment, just so we don't end up doing landing on a planet full of Hell Knights and going, oh shit, we're in trouble.
So,
Because I don't think us saying, hey, I know a Hell Knight will get us out of that one.
right. So, what you're going to find out
Talk about
here,
using your context incorrectly.
there are a number of predator species that exist on this moon. There are ranging in various different various sizes. Sapient species, there are Drow life signs down there. There are also a few Hortus life signs, not many, but a couple. There are there's let's see, and you also did level of technology and general alignment. Level of technology is high. It's pretty standard for the rest of the galaxy, so it's not like Planet of Podunks. General alignment, chaotic evil.
That's why I picked alignment.
Launching
Yep.
thermonuclear warhead now, Captain.
I can imagine it was just a matter of connecting to their extranet and going, oh,
Hi,
no.
would you like to see a video of a vacuum or a body decaying in the vacuum of space?
No, Sid, it probably wasn't that. It was probably
Faces
more
of
along the
Death,
lines of, hey, you remember these assholes? You know, the Fire Shrike? Yeah, fuck them. Probably go,
Faces of Death is like their dinner conversation TV. That's their water cooler.
There you go.
Faces of Death. Yeah, did you see the last Faces of Death? Oh yeah, man, that ambulance chaser. He gets good stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah. No. It's but yeah, there's it looks like high technology Drow elves with a couple of Hortus, maybe some goblin life signs, an orc, but the technology level is high, and and there appear to be a number of predators of multiple different sizes on the planet's surface.
Ah, yes, my favorite weather. Hell.
Funny.
Reminds me of the weather back on Akaton. If Akaton had 100% chance of drow rain. I should say raining drow. That was bad. Anyways.
Great, now I have an image of a drow discotheque playing a song. It's raining drow.
God. Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Like,
I
it's
spent
like
2 years in the nightclubs. I'm sorry.
And now it's in my
Oh my
head.
God. Yeah.
Well, he
thanks.
started it. It wasn't me.
Wow,
It's
and then,
like,
you've got, and then you've got the same event from a different perspective. Let the drow hit the floor.
Drow with the floor.
You stop.
That fits better.
Stop right now.
And I think
Gonna
as
walk
we
away.
and I
Oh,
think as we get the like as you guys are kind of like sitting there scanning and whatnot, we see a rather like maybe something comes up on sensors in space.
No, shit.
Red alert.
What is it?
Who would thou like to make a few rolls?
I
You and
mean,
your team.
I mean, I could,
I totally can.
and so could others. I guess I'll. I guess I can.
Tell me what to roll, Captain.
Well, what would he like?
I'm
us to
signing
roll?
into my work computer right now. So
Engineering.
Well, it's sensors. If you're trying to pick out which would be computers.
Okay, I can do
If you
computers.
want to find out something about.
Yep. That was actually a pretty good roll.
43. It gets you a little bit of information. This this ship is of an unregistered classification, although the design elements are very clearly Dro. It is a it's a destroyer class ship. There are several other ships that come out that follow along behind it. That's got a number of like you can tell that it's heavily armed and armored, but you can't tell exactly what kind of weapons it's got or how good its shielding is. But you can tell that it's built for war at least.
Are they on an intercept?
Yeah. Yeah, they're coming on an intercept course.
All right. Looking to my. Let's see here. I probably just turned to Ruli and raise him on comms, please.
She's like, "You got it." And the screen flickers to life, and there is a God damn it. There is a male Dro wearing a military uniform, what looks like a military uniform. He's like, this is Captain Ravis Zimlathi of the Netch Sadaran Defense Force. State your business or be absolutely destroyed.
My favorite part is I'm not sure he could catch us. The others might. I don't think he could catch us. Anyways, I'd like to give it a good college try though someday. Anyways, hail, this is Captain Twinkle Bailey, de facto ambassador from Patella. We are headed towards Nej Zadar with the intent of a diplomatic mission.
Yes. It's like I wasn't aware that Patella was sending any envoys.
Oh. Sorry, let me get my thoughts together before I say something I shouldn't. Probably to the effect of... This is a recent and rather pressing matter. Unfortunately, we weren't able to give word in advance. However, we will submit to whatever screenings we have to do to dock peacefully with the to dock peacefully.
He's like, you will follow us. We will escort you to the Corzom, and there we will inspect your ship. You will prepare to be. Your ship will be inspected. Your crew will be interviewed, and we'll see what the Council of Matrons has to say.
Understood.
He says, I should warn you. He says, we don't get a lot of visitors around here.
Oh, I understand. Believe me, if it weren't important, we wouldn't be disturbing you.
He's like, he's like, he goes, one would assume this to be the case, but one can never say. Follow course, we will escort you. He says, make certain that you keep your weapons powered down. If we detect power readings in your weapons, we will consider an act of war and immediately take care of the situation.
Understood. As you can probably see, we are lightly armed and of no threat to you.
Captain Zimlothi, ravished Zimlothi out, and the screen goes black.
Yeah, pauses for a moment. Go ahead.
Let me get a diplomacy check here too, because you were being diplomatic. I kind of want to see what his attitude's going to look like here.
Oh God. When your diplomacy isn't all that high. Never mind. Well, when your diplomacy isn't all that high.
It's like, yeah. So they maybe we kind of cut away, like seeing with the ships, flying not towards the planet you were looking at, but actually sort of out of
Sorry, we're so boring.
Out of the system. No, I just didn't sleep well today, that's all. And out of the system into a different system where they kind of continue course. But I'm going to cut away from there, and I'm going to cut over to Ashira and Lee.
Okay.
And
Look, I'm in the story.
And the Unannihilated and Dr. Telvono. Yeah, you're back.
Bye,
Got
Duno.
back around here.
Yeah, I gotta go. Y'all
Bye,
have
Daniel.
Fun.
Have a good one, Daniel.
Yep.
Bye
Love you,
bye,
Daniel.
bear.
Silly old bear.
And then so we come back in on Ashira and Lee and Dr. Telvono and the Unannihilated. And maybe there's like this bit where you guys are back in the truck and you're driving again. And I think there's a and we're like you're driving for a while. And finally when you get to a point where you kind of get to the point where you're pulling up to the what looks like it kind of looks like a camp, but it looks more like a refugee camp than like a military camp necessarily. When you pull up and go to get out, like it's probably where like Dr. Telvono is just like is like this is our stop for the time being. Says everybody get out, stretch your legs. We'll need to talk to these individuals here for, to go the rest of the way. And there's a moment where they just kind of it opens the door, the unannihilated turns the vehicle off, and and it kind of settles to the ground, and the doors open for you guys.
Okay.
The unannihilated kind of turns and looks at you, and it's like, "Don't wander off. Nowhere to go anyway." And he just kind of uh, walks out, and Dr. Telvona just sort of shrugs.
Why do I feel like I got demoted? Stay here. Don't leave this spot.
Yeah, there. And so you can't do anything. You just don't wander off. Yeah, kind of looking around. Give me a perception check here, Lee, Ashira.
Yep, 1 second. Hi, Callie. Welcome to the stream. Perception. Where the F? God, the single monitor shits for the birds. There.
Lee, Ashira, you get out, and it's kind of like there's a moment where you're looking around, like refugee camp. What are we gonna do here? But as you guys are kind of standing there looking around, you kind of realize all is not as it appears. These people aren't ordinary refugees. There's just a little too much steel in their eyes, a little too much, a little too much suspicion around
Uh-huh.
in the furrowed into their brows. You know, a little too much alertness. They don't have the look of people who have been traumatized. They have the look of people who are on the look, who are looking out for something.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's and you kind of start catching notices that they're better armed than they appear to be.
Okay.
Like you realize that the pieces the pieces of what look like random junk are next to, one guy one guy who's talking hushedly with another guy is actually like a breakdown sniper rifle broken down into parts and disguised.
Fantastic.
You're kind of getting the impression that these people are a little and there's
Also fucking rocker.
yeah, and people start to look at you. Did you ever put your hood back up or your disguise back up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of looking at you at Lee. Uh, but and there's and there's a conversation going on. Like nobody really talks to the Unannihilated. He doesn't engage with anybody, and they give him wide berth. It's clear that these people at least know him well enough to know that they're not going to get much conversation and probably don't annoy him. But Dr. Telvono, on the other hand, seems to be talking to somebody on the other side, and the person that they're talking with doesn't seem to be terribly
Concerned.
doesn't seem to be terribly happy with them.
Oh.
And he's a human, and there's a moment where he's like, hold on a second, where the shouting gets a little bit high, a little bit more and he's like, look, I don't give a shit what you want, Stitch boy. He goes, I don't give a shit what he's like, we're not taking you this time. You and your big silent friend can brood all you want, but I don't care. He's like, Neon Annihilated still isn't engaging in this conversation. It's like he doesn't give a shit. The but the doctor continues. He's like, "Look, if I could just, I mean, there is some very important. Let's just say that your boss is waiting to hear from us." And he's like, "Look, I don't think I trust anything you say. Not for a minute. You worked for her. You worked for the Queen of Venom. And I heard about the things you did when you worked for her. I heard about all of he goes, inhumane experiments that you were a part of." And, and he's like, and Dr. Talvono is kind of like, "Look, I've turned over a new leaf. I've been working on proving that for at least 6 months now. I understand, no forgiveness, no redemption, but at least give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm trying to help." And he's he's like, "There's nothing that's important enough that the boss is gonna want to see the two of you. Not
Lee
now." Yeah. Go ahead.
Lee turns to Ashira and says, "It seems that diplomacy is not going to work.
No
It's
shit.
almost time for action." And then he starts watching the Unannihilated.
The Unannihilated still seems a bit aloof and still seems to not give a shit about this conversation or really anybody. Like he's pretty much found himself a place to stake off, a position to sit and stare off and kind of like and meditate or whatever it is that he's doing. Um, you're not sure if he's staring off into space, meditating, glaring at one of the so-called refugees or what. I mean, he's just kind of doing his thing off to the side. He just does not seem to care. Um, and let's see. Do-do-do. And there's what is your reaction to this, Lee Ashira?
Oof. Well, I'm starting to wonder if we should even be here. What did you say about the guys? What did you say?
He said that diplomacy doesn't seem to be working. It might be
So
time for action. Oh, what did he say? Okay.
yeah, I didn't hear all of it. Okay, so did you have anything in particular in mind?
We will have to be ready if they decide to stop the Unannihilated from working with them by force.
What are the odds
He
that
will.
happens?
What were the odds we'd run into two Heishis when I don't have any armor?
You ever wonder if a silver tongue is telling this story and it just keeps fucking changing? Anyway, I'm glad that somebody knew what I was talking about. um, fuck. Okay, so here's my question. Should we get ready to fight now, or should we just be cautious until we figure out what exactly is happening?
Cautious until you find me.
Until we find you?
Yeah, and then we'll just beat the fuck out of everybody.
Said the disembodied voice of Tinkerbell.
The disembodied voice.
Quit fucking up my plans.
You know what they say?
That's fucking hilarious.
God makes plans, and man laughs. Or,
okay, so let's be cautious, but I damn sure want to be able to, like, pull out a pistol or something if I need to.
All right. I think there's a moment where it's like, and Dr. Telvono grabs this guy on the arm. He's like, I look, PV, I don't mean to be like, I don't take this the wrong way. And he kind of starts like trying to marshal PV in your general direction, who looks very unhappy, actually whips a gun out on him, points it in
Ooh.
his face. Dr. Telvono just smiles and he goes, I don't think that's the best idea. After all, we've done this dance before, and I'm a lot harder to kill than all of that. You know this. And PV just kind of looks at him and is like, grumbles something and kind of like follows the direction. And they kind of walk over and he goes, Dr. Telvono kind of like stops in front of you. He goes, and he takes a moment. He looks around. He goes, he looks at PV and he goes, if you'll stand just, and he does that thing where he grabs his shoulders and kind of like nudges him to one side, right there. That should be about do it. And he kind of looks. You realize you don't have a clear view of any of the other refugees with PV standing where Telvono moved him, and he kind of looks at you and he goes, I'm sorry about this, my dear. And he kind of like, and he turns around and he grabs the hood of your cloak and pulls it back.
Oh, fuck him.
Oh, wait, Tinkerbell.
I'm sorry.
And PV's immediate reaction is he goes, what the fuck? And he takes like a half a step backwards, pulling his gun out and pointing it right at you. PV, for his Dr. Telvono is trying to like starts trying to talk him down, like, hold on, wait, there's a reason. Just and PV's like, I'm done talking to you, and then there's like a half a moment, and the unannihilated sort of clears his throat and seems to suddenly be paying somewhat attention. And PV kind of looks over at him and goes, there you go, looks over angrily at Dr. Telvono, and he says, and he looks at you and he's like, put your hood back up.
I just side glance at him. Okay, Dad.
And he's just like, and he goes, well, he goes, you of all people, this, he goes, and he looks over at Unannihilated, and he walks over towards Unannihilated, and he's like, he's just not afraid. And he's like, what in the nine hells do you think you are doing? And for the first time, the Unannihilated for like steps up, and he stands up and he's like, I am completing a task for your boss. And his hands started to glow like with that black glow that he had when he was fighting Hishisha. And he's like, and there's a tense moment, like the other refugees start kind of like alternating between like doing that thing of, ooh, this could be interesting, and more than a few of them are kind of like taking a unconscious step back or pulling out weapons and what have you. And he's like, fine, but you know the drill. And the Unannihilated is like, just kind of nods. He turns back around and he's like, you're going to be blindfolded. You're going to surrender your weapon. And when you get where we're going, then you can see again. He says, I see even the move out of you. And he looks right at you, Ashira, and he's like, even the slightest. He goes, and he just kind of lets the thread hang in the air. And he's like, all right, let's get it together. Let's move.
I don't know.
And we
Okay.
see and like a couple of guys come over to like blindfold you and
Oh yeah, I can't see. I forgot.
and Lee and Well, and frankly, the unannihilated puts his own on. Somebody comes over and looks at him like, and he just like grabs it from their hand and ties it around his own eyes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Dr. Telvono submits without
You keep breaking
with a
up for
smirk.
me.
Actually, he actually looks like this is fun. I was gonna say Dr. Telvono seems like it's funny when they blindfold him. He's got a grin on his face like he knows something they don't.
Well, that's
He's not even
interesting.
hiding it. He's not even hiding that either.
Yeah, they put it on. They're like, yeah, you can't see. He walks over, sits down in a chair, gets up, walks over to the coffee pot.
He fixes himself a cup of coffee, puts creamer in it and everything.
I
Yeah.
feel that with my whole soul, sir.
He's just like, there's and there's like a bit of and as things like, and maybe we see this from Ashira's perspective as you're kind of like looking out, you're seeing them sort of pick up camp and you're seeing these sort of like things go on. You look over and they're working to blindfold Lee as well. And we kind of looking out and then we see the blindfold close in around and over her eyes. Uh, and we cut to our final scene for the night. And we
Ooh.
find a bar. And this is a bar we have seen before because it's a bar where reality goes to die. Um, and we kind of go in we kind of go inside of the bar. And inside of
Oh.
the bar there is we see Chunder Bucket Charlie and we see the Serold in there where there's like something and maybe this is like maybe we like look up at the TV screen above the bar and what we see is like the image of like Lee and Ashira and the Unannihilated and company you know getting blindfolded. Chunder Bucket Charlie picks up a remote, changes it, and we see the scene of like of Zai and Burnward talking, and he changes it again, and we see the scene of Twinkle, talking to the on the bridge of his ship, talking to the Dro officer, and then we see like the like changes it again, and we see Vesa and her crew get going back to resupply and change up who they're bringing and establish their strike team. And then we kind of like it kind of turns around and he looks at Cyril and he's like, well, he goes, you know what this means, right? What you're about to do?
There's a long pause, and we see that Serold has his hood and the collar pulled down. He's got the contemplative finger tent resting his chin against it. And all he responds with my plans are falling into place.
Yeah, well, I hope then they fall in fast, because as yet we don't have an army to fight, and their army stretches through multiple timelines.
Yikes.
The numbers they could bring to any one battle, they're gonna need all of the best heroes that they can get from and villains they can get from across that aren't working for the Dominion, right?
Super Shrike brothers. But
It was like,
no,
Oh my
but
god, no.
he kind of shrugs at that, and a hand leaves the tent. He opens up one of his little portals and pulls out a little chest set moving his fingers, the pieces start moving, and they form, a castle when you can put the king behind everything. And he says, every strategy takes time. It takes many turns to build a castle. We need only watch and see how our enemy responds.
Yeah, he chuckles and he goes, time. Now there is a hell of a concept to be bringing up at a time like this, if that even means anything. He goes, what you're about to do is going to expand the front. He goes, but I suppose it's the only play we've got left then, hasn't it? Isn't it?
We have all the time in the world, however much that is. And they are on the defensive. They've already succeeded, or else you and I would not be here, Chunderbucket. But
He does, yeah.
that means all it takes. And he reaches across and flicks a couple pawns off of the other side of the chessboard that lets the bishop move in and take king. He says, all it takes is to break a couple links in the fence, and the dam waters rush in.
He goes, and he kind of chuckles. He goes, well then, I suppose you'd best be on your way.
He nods and stands, and he taps at the chessboard and is like, perhaps you should work on your strategies. We can't sit here playing darts until time ends.
Oh no, I've got a foil or two in the oven, as it were. Just hoping that it stays, I'm just waiting for the right time. And he chuckles again as if this is a joke.
He nods and pulls up the hood, and right before he's about to step through his portal, he thinks on that. He's like, waiting for the right time. Perhaps you are not as foolish as the name Chunderbucket Charlie would lead one to believe.
Nice. Do we get the Serald stepping through the gateway?
Yep, that seems
Yeah.
like a good place to fade.
Awesome. Awesome, guys. Everybody go ahead and send me your Player's Choice Awards. And let's start getting some sign-offs going. And let's start with our guest spot, our guest star, James.
Hi ho, friendos. My name is James, otherwise known as Nightheart. You caught me here today as a guest star. Once in a while, this will be a thing where I show up as Cyril Silverchild. I might as well be called S because he's pretty much L, except also he plays chess. Where'd he get that chess set from? I don't know. Maybe he stole it from the Calliope. Maybe he stole it from the Silver Spire. Maybe he stole it from Project Svaka. Who knows? Because what you can do when you can play with reality is, I don't know, maybe he stole it from Anvil before it blew up. Or blew up again. Who knows what's going on Wednesdays. You can also find me here on Thursdays, where this Thursday will be the final episode of Project Severovo. I'm excited to see how it ends. Excited and terrified. Every other Thursday, though, you can catch me in... my brain farted for a little bit. New Amsterdam, our Cyberpunk 2077 setting that's not really in Cyberpunk 2077, where instead of being in Night City, we're in the Big Napple, where I play Dove, the former street worker turned solo who got to talk to a therapist. That was fun. It was actually pretty good. And on Fridays, I'm also in Tales from the Cosmos, where I play 11 different characters. More to come. Soon I will be the Cosmos. And on Sundays, I run Yakshas, where my party got to fight a big old batch of mean, scary cyborg men who didn't get to resurrect as much because I thought that being merciful on my players was a smart idea. And I got to talk to some ladies, and Sin kept fucking hitting on one and got shot down so many times in so many brutal ways. It was kind of funny. But now they're going to be going through the Appalachians, working with a group called the Grave Runners, and someone did some sleuthing and found some suspicious money transactions. Where will that go? Who knows? We'll see. That's it for me.
All right. I am. Let's see. Still missing player's choice from Zai and Burnward and James. If you want to send me a player's choice award, you're valid to make a vote. You were here tonight. So let's move on to Vesa.
Hello, I'm Amy again. I played Vesa. I am scared. I'm gonna get all my NPCs killed, but it's gonna be fine. Maybe. Yes. So when I'm not having a small aneurysm on Mondays, I am attempting to sleep with Keanu Reeves on Wednesdays. You should check that out. It's super great. I'm so close. I'm like 12 hours away. Like it's happening. It's fucking happening. That's all I can tell you about that game because that's all that's on my mind. Just kidding, we're villains, but mostly that's all that's on my mind. It's fun. You should check it out. And that's all I do on this channel. However, I stream every Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to that noonish Pacific Standard Time. We do a chill art stream. Also, if you are interested, I have something called the Deviants deck. It is currently on Kickstarter. It is a deck of cards. It is hand drawn. It is cool as shit. We're finishing up this week. It's so fucking amazing. You guys should back it. I'm super, super close to getting 100% backing. And that's me.
Nice. Let's go to Lee.
I'm the Computer King, the supervillain of streaming. And yeah, Lee, he saw where this was going. Somebody had to do something physical, otherwise they would have never gotten as far as they're going to get. So on Wednesdays, I run from bench to bench. And yeah, they'd avoided the end of the world, and Amy Geddon might actually get to sleep with Keanu Reeves. Or her character will.
Well, I mean, both.
She's living by proxy.
Yes.
Every other Thursday, I'm in New Amsterdam. On Fridays, I'm in Tales from the Cosmos, and on Sundays, I'm in Yakshas, where I actually tried to help some civilians instead of, blowing them up by accident. Well, not exactly accident.
He's growing.
And when I do stream, it says The Computer King, complete with the. Otherwise, you'll find nothing. Because some dude stole my name, and I'm kind of pissed about it. And I have been for years. So that's it for me.
I know the feeling. There were a lot of variations of my name that were stolen. I was like, well, I'm glad this one still works. Xander, why don't you go next?
Okay, so I'm Scott. I got to play Xander this week, which is kind of cool. I like that character. He did some computering, some scanny scans and whatnot. It's kind of cool. Now he's got to do other thought processes. I don't know. My brain's like somewhere else for some reason. Maybe it's in Florida. I don't know. Anyways, what else am I in? Okay, Wednesday we got Hinstrument. We're playing night, and I'm just rolling with it. Hey, I got the beers, I got the snack cakes, little meat sticks with cheese. I don't know. I'm just there. And then we got New Amsterdam, where I play Spat. I'm the healer. Then we got Cosmos on Friday, where Anduin's getting anxious of being in this stupid dude's brain that he's like going to cut his brain up and make him go, ugh. Because we need to fight things.
Did you bring me strawberries? Did you know that there's only one thing?
I cannot think of anything else I need. I think that's it. Yeah, let's go with that.
Alrighty. Let's go to here real quick. Let's go on to Gunner.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cyrus Smith, and today you caught me playing Twinkle Bailey. I was here today, guys. Yeah, we get to do the diplomacy thing. And Twinkle's like, I used to, steal shit for a living. Pretty majorly. Also, robbing graves, plundering tombs, double parking, murder. But, hey, here we go. So, yeah, that's a thing. But here we are doing diplomacy shit. Maybe we'll challenge that Nej Zadar destroyer to a drag race someday. I guarantee you, my runaway button will let us win that one. You can also find me on. Oh gosh. Today's Monday.
Hold up! Wouldn't that be equivalent to a fucking race car challenging a school bus to a drag race?
Have you seen the school buses with the jet engines in them? I am the school bus with the jet engine.
I thought you were the race car.
I am the race car school bus with the jet engine. Anyways, Wednesdays.
All right, so we got a 9 thing going here. Got it. Put a jet engine on a car.
Yes, it's like taking a Lamborghini. Actually, let's do a Tesla. I like the look of Teslas better. Take the engine out, take the battery, not the engine. Take the battery out of a Tesla, stick a jet engine there, and then just, yes. So
the $150,000 Model S Plaid.
Would you like the battery? Once I take it out and put the jet engine in there, would you like the battery?
Yes, please.
You can also find me on Wednesdays. Not this Wednesday, though, because I did a dumb and decided to get 3 hours of sleep and then drive 150 miles last week. That was a bad idea. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever going to do anything, don't do that. You can also find me on Thursday, and I will be there Thursday, in New Amsterdam. Severovo, making the decisions, I'm going to be tired enough that day. It's going to be the equivalent of, look, just blow it all up. How's that sound? Just use Apollo, blow it all up. We'll start over, maybe another lifetime. And that'll be it. Friday, we will be playing Friday. It is the last memory session, I believe, for our our people inside of the memories. But that being said, afterwards, you guys realize I'm throwing you into the meat grinder, right? I've mentioned this. Anybody that wants to see the meat grinder, you're going to have to show up. Well, just show up for Fridays every week, but especially those weeks, because, yes. You can also find me on, Sundays, where I play, Super Secret Agent Lady. And, also known as Indiana, the former child soldier that still acts like one. Anyways, yes, I found super secret stuff. Yes, I'm going to pass that along to people. No, I'm probably not going to pass it along to who you think it is. So, tune in to see that. We're not keeping any secrets whatsoever, except all of the secrets we're currently keeping. That's me.
All right. Then let's go to the El Commodore.
All right.
You cut out.
David know. Yeah. Am I back? Can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah. There. Right. Now we can see.
All right. So Monday nights are my shit. This is like, as far as not being myself goes, and I dig that. This is the only thing I'm in right now. Someday I may change that. But more importantly, tonight's episode was brought to you by Boards, Booze, and Bitches. It's food worth dying over. And my friends Purple Codex and my friend Amy Gedden, they both have TeePublics. They have cool shit there. You should check it out. This commercial used to be more epic, and tonight, if we are lucky, it will once again regain that title.
Jameis.
Do you want to know how I got my shirts? My father was a streamer. And he had a lot of ethics. You see. And then one day, he just decided that things needed to be a little bit more epic. So, I I went to T Publix. You want to see my disappearing money trick? I subscribed to tpublix.com with Purple Codex and Amy Gettin.
James.
I love you.
Oh God, I'm so glad that you were
Love
back
you.
to give us another commercial.
Oh,
Side
Jesus.
note,
back
if
for
you
one back for 1 week to make a commercial. Everybody loses their minds.
God.
We do. We miss you.
Nice.
And on to Purple Codex.
I'm
Top
fucking
that.
dying. I can't. I just fucking can't.
Oh, are you dying? Are
Soon
you
as
literally
I heard his
dying?
voice, I was dead. I'm Purple. I stream Monday nights with these guys. I'm still trying to get back into streaming. I'm so sorry. Don't judge me. I don't have anything. I mean, the kitten is still shredding my hands and attacking my feet. And she's a little asshole. Let's see. Purple started new crazy meds today. That should be fun.
Yay.
That's all I got.
Yay.
All right. That brings it back around to moi.
Excuse me?
Oh,
No, wait, no, it doesn't. It brings it around to win 5 get 1 free.
Maybe you should write it down on a sheet of paper, Jesta. Maybe you forget the motherfucking king! Hello, everybody. My name is Mike, also known as Win 5 Get 1 Free, and you have caught me tonight playing Ex-Paralictor Burn Ward for all of 15 minutes. Got to have a little drink with Captain Zai and help him through his demons. You know how that goes. You can also catch me on Thursdays, where this coming Thursday, the final episode of motherfucking Project Severovo. I am excited. This has been a year and a half, but this has been, in actuality, about 2.5 years of planning for a 1.5 year campaign. I'm so proud of my players, so proud of how everything went down. I'm super excited. Tune in to watch the big decisions and the denouement of this story. Other Thursdays, so not this Thursday, because this Thursday we're doing that doubleheader where we did Severovo last Thursday and this Thursday. But the Thursday after that, we're going to be doing Project Severovo, where they've all picked a job, and now it's about to be time. Not going to spoil anything, but let's just say that the Scarlatti family needs a little bit of an escort, and the party is going to oblige a little bit of that. But there's a lot of layers to this one. I'm really excited for it. Catch me on Sundays, where I am part of Yakshas as Domingo Frank Ordonez. The man who has radically changed the way that he does ethics, and is trying to start a charity for the infected. Not something you would generally expect from a man who mains a flamethrower as a weapon, but you know, whatever. If you are currently watching us on YouTube, then you are doing fantastic and we love you, but you can also catch us live on twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. And if you are currently watching us on Twitch, we love you. Thank you very much. But also, you could be watching us again and again and again and again and again on youtube.com/pair_o_dice_theater. And if you like the fast, hot, and sexy world of scheduling, you also happen to be a big fan of community interaction, that is, and you like memes, catch us at Pair Theater on Twitter. My name is Mike, also known as Win 5 Get 1 Free, and that is me.
All right. Now I guess it brings it back to me. First things first, bookkeeping. Everybody gets 5,000 XP. Tonight's player's choice was a tie between Vesa and Burnward, so each of you give yourselves 450 experience points or beyond.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
And it was actually kind of spread out across the field. There was a lot of different votes in different areas. All right. So, with that said, I am the Just a King Zerat. You can catch me here on Monday nights for Fire Shrike. I am that's kind of currently all I'm doing here right now for the time being. But you can also occasionally catch me over on my other channel of ZWE where I stream. Sometimes I will do a little bit of Fallout 4. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of like Sims 4. Sometimes I will do a little bit of fuck, I forgot the other one I've been doing lately. Oh, wrestling. Yeah, that's right, wrestling. I do a lot of wrestling. Where I do an E-Fed league called ZWE, utilizing the 2K18, and do a sportscast thing.
ZWE, ZWE, ZWE.
God.
Master Ortega for life.
Hey, you know what? That guy continues to be like the guy that will take a massive amount of punishment. He doesn't win every fucking fight, but he will last far longer than he's ever should. Always. But you can catch me there on Zerat for those things. With that said, I do believe that's all we've got for tonight. So let's get an RIP Fern and get out of here. RIP.